get called a liberal a lot. A libtard. I don't like that word.
I can understand that. Being called a libtard probably doesn't feel very good.
But I get called a liberal a lot, by the convoy especially, the people that are anti-mask, anti-mandate, you know, the ones that are apathetic, they have no compassion.
No compassion?
No empathy for people, young, old, vulnerable, immunocompromised. They have no empathy for anybody other than themselves.
Man, with all due respect, I'd rather get called a libtard than be told that I have no compassion or empathy for anybody other than myself. It's interesting how you can act so nice and polite, but also say the meanest possible thing to somebody.
The most important thing to them is not having to wear a mask when they go outside.
No, the most important thing is protecting children and protecting them from abuse, and also bodily autonomy. Not having to be forced to get an injection that is quite frankly not proven to be safe or effective.
And being able to get on an airplane and fly somewhere, even though they're really not going anywhere.
Even though we're not even going anywhere? What do you mean by that? What are you trying to imply about people who are against these mandates? That we're too, dumb or poor to fly? Is that what you're implying, ma'am? Once again, I think getting called a libtard is not nearly as mean to whatever it is you're implying.
They want to know that they can do it. They can get out of the country because, we're holding them hostage here, even though we're not. They can leave anytime they want.
Unfortunately, ma'am, you are falling into the stereotype of someone who is misinformed. Unvaccinated people could not leave the country up until just recently when they dropped the travel restrictions. So if you didn't know that ignorance is on you.
But believing in mandates, believing in compassion.
Did you really just equate mandates to compassion? Seriously? As if having the government control what they're allowed to put in your body is the same thing as compassion? Okay.
But believing in mandates, believing in compassion does not make me a liberal. It makes me a good person.
And there it is, folks. This is really the liberal brand in a nutshell. Being liberal is selling their supporters this idea that they are a good person. And this woman is a perfect example of how this works. She is obsessed with thinking how good of a person she is, to the point where that's literally how she defines herself. Well, I'm not a liberal. I'm just a good person.
Does not make me a liberal. It makes me a good person.
I am better than you. I am more compassionate than you. I am not like you uncompassionate little runts. I would love to believe that part of being a liberal is actually being virtuous and actually being moral. But as you can see in this video and this woman has demonstrated, it's all about being superior to other people. It's about being morally better than other people. You would have to be ignorant and very kind of immature in a spiritual or emotional sense to actually believe that. And I think the difference is if you're more of a freedom fighter, or you're politically homeless or conservative or whatever, or not part of the establishment left, you kind of recognize, hey, there are good and bad people everywhere. Not everyone is a good person, not everyone is a bad person, depending on their political affiliation. I think the only reason that libtard is so popular is because there are a lot of people who follow the establishment left, and they aren't super well informed on the issues. They kind of have a surface level understanding of it, but along with that, they have this huge moral righteousness. They're know-it-alls, they act like they're morally righteous, and it comes across as very arrogant. Libtard.